with what I know works at the moment, and I'll do the pre-recordings for the other ones. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I'm a twin flame. I coach the Twin Flame Collective, as well as try and move you into self-union and into the energy of reunion should you choose it to. And the reason I say that is because once you reach a stage on your path where you've moved through your blockages, where you've understood the paradigm of the path, and you move into that acceptance and disconnection, you can tend to get to a point where you realize that you are a lot more in control. Okay, so it's a different vibration, and don't be angry at yourself at how long things take and what kind of moves through. Yes, I can see your chat, thank God. Yeah, it's just the wind at the moment. We're having gale force winds. So now I did find the book, which was a bonus. So there was a reason why we were supposed to start again. I've selected a ruin for you guys. Now, as I mentioned previously in the previous video, which I'll just close down because there's no point getting the collective confused. This is a time at the moment for air signs where you could be embodying two energies, okay? From the masculine attribute of things, you can be looking at the responsibility, the work. You can find that a lot of circumstances in your life, you're really gearing up, ready to transform. Now, with those transformations, what they mean to you with the power on your side of the fence, it depends on how you deal with your triggers, I'll just say. Okay, in a circumstantial event with Uranus and Taurus going direct, a lot of you are feeling a change in direction, a change in the wind, so to speak. And that's really playing out in the collective. There can be ego purges, Gem rising sign. Okay, so I'll just find the ruin and I'll have a chat to you guys about what's coming up for the collective of air signs, and I will individually mention what could be happening very personal on your side, and I will be doing each element, obviously. Earth, air, fire, water. Okay, so the ruin at the moment that you have for January. You caught me live, yes. Well, it has been a bit of a shake-up for YILDIZ readings as well, so I've had to meditate, and I'm iron deficient as well, almost anemic. So as much as the beautiful intent I had, I need to do my blood work. So, oh, God. Okay, Uranus and Taurus, that's what it links to. So, yes, Uranus and Taurus, sudden changes, changes in the wind, yes. Yes, air signs, there are sudden changes. Now, for each one of you, this can relate to something very different, but it's also the spiritual aspect of things. So you could be watching what's going on in the collective, and you could be observing it from very different lens. Libras at the moment, you have a major transformation that you're about to go to in a co-creative energy. So if you do have blockages coming up, it's more than likely going to be from the lower chakras. This can be fatigue. And when it does come to the chakra systems, I will be doing videos based on your joint chakra system within the twin flame journey, which is sacral chakra. And there's other energies aside from that, but also the energy inside your own personal chakra systems and how to upgrade them. So if you're in fair-based frequency, try and balance the sacral chakra. You can be embodying a little bit of the yin and yang. Have a look at where you feel lack. Is it on the masculine side of your energy, or is it on the feminine side? Do you feel unmotivated? Are you fatigued? We can tend to have adrenaline energy coming through with Uranus and Taurus going direct, where we feel very fatigued, and it's just like, oh, heck, I need to eat to upgrade my energy. You tend to find that in an ebb and flow coming through when you're going to do something major. So trust that, but it can be a purgatory experience that some of you are experiencing at the moment. And, at the moment, the Libra energy of the zodiac sign in the air element, they're sort of having the break from, the Mars energy. So you may feel very tired. It's moving over to the second house for you. So with your chakra system inside your twin flame journey, you potentially may be eating to upgrade and replenish your fuel. It could also be in a self-esteem energy and really building upon where you want to be in your life. It does feel like mass ascension symptoms with you guys. But key themes can really come up at the moment relating to that Aquarius placement. So for you guys, it is your co-creative. It can be inner child wounds. It can be subjects to do with children, subjects to do with romance. Now, I'll just quickly mention all of these and I'll get into the ruin. For Aquarius, now you guys are having a tough time anyway, because you do have the psychology coming up at a purgatory experience. What you need to be for everyone what that responsibility is. And this can be a very, it can be a fun time for Aquarius, but it can be a yucky time because we're revisiting that Capricorn energy. And, you know, with that Capricorn energy, Saturn is the lord of restrictions and rules and regulations. It's in the house of Aquarius. It's in your first house. So you can feel everything's coming at you. And if this hasn't been so, you know, and potentially you were, you know, in the 5D and then suddenly you're coming crashing down to the 3D, it can be a polar opposite energy of looking around and going, wow, I am empowered and I do need to change these things. And if you're tapping into something, what that responsibility is and what it's going to mean. You'll find that also with Jupiter in Aquarius, the way we'll be looking at circumstances, and all of us will embody the Aquarian energy, regardless, because we have both Saturn and Jupiter there. Aquarius, you guys, what I'm seeing for you is how do you fit into the mix in your life, not just in your connection with your twin flame. You know, what power you have on your side of the fence and what you can change. Sometimes we can be almost sitting in our tower with our hair rolling down like Rapunzel and waiting for that. And that's sort of the analogy that's coming through in a spiritual way. It's that you can lead a horse to water, you can't make a drink, but all of us will be taking accountability. And there's always that karmic cycle that changes, shifts, ends. But it's, you know, really shifting the focus onto where you are and what you're currently doing and what that's going to mean for you. If you find you're spending a great deal of time psychologically trying to understand the past, you're still embodying the 7 stages of healing. If you find you're popping back into the here and now and you're not allowing that to define you, you're probably closer than you think. And I would say in the next 3 months, a lot of twins are really moving into that communication again and that upgrade because there is the purgatory experience. Hi, Libra, as to, you know, what's going on in that domain. So the healing coming through for you is that wake-up call, really. Now, how it's changing in your life, it may be for you personally at the moment. You know, there can be family-related dynamics. You may have inner child wounds coming up again. There could be a circumstance that again, it's have to be dealt with at home. It can be siblings and family in situations like that. But there's changes nevertheless. And it's funny because our spiritual path, when you're having disruption in your life, and there's 3, when you're going from the 5D to the 3D, you find universe is asking you to focus on 3D circumstances in your life to shift that perspective. So it's not that that spiritual connection isn't there and that you can't link in with 5D. And sometimes it can request us to really shift back into the 3D to address those things so we can have that peace of mind. This is a high impact week. I'll just say it. For all of you collectively, be it you're a soulmate, twin flame, we all can benefit from this. Moving forward is going to be pretty big, but there's massive changes. Now, for you, Gemini, you're having a hard time as well, especially on your spiritual path, due to the fact that we have the North Node in Gemini. For you guys, emotionally, these changes that are coming can be relating to old relationships versus current relationships. You could be feeling, again, and I'm seeing a lot of the yellow and the orange chakra coming up in the initial stage of that rebirth when it does come to these shifts and changes. So again, if your ascension symptoms this week are really hard, it may be that it's guiding you to step back from the painting at this point and just observe over direct react, but it really is a reactionary week. So, you know, even if you feel penny little, the world's falling down, where can you redirect your energy and what is that imagery and that sensory experience throwing you, okay? Thinking you're over the twin flame after 3 years. Well, you won't be angry though. If you're over the thing is, it's a soul contract, right? This is what I went through on my 25-year path. And look, it's a hard one. Number one, where you are on your journey says something about who you are now, right? After that process, when you're detaching from cookie cutter readings, it's because you're purged an experience, right? And sometimes you won't find that energy, but what you'll find is they can become very humanistic to you at the end stage prior to union. And it doesn't mean you have to have union. It will actually be a physical choice because you're purged through your chakra system. You have no attachment to it. It no longer will define you. But while you're in that growth stage, it's sort of like you can't control it. You can by doing the work, but you can't by, hey, you're never going to see them again. It's just not one of those clean house, yeah, clear brain. So now what you are is awake. We can say that. When you're reaching that stage of ascension, you're awake. At times, things will come up, but you're very focused on your life. You're happy and embodying that energy. And you'll find if you look back in the patterns in your journey, anytime you've disconnected, and the sure sign that you're ready for union is you have no attachment to it. You're really tired. You like looked at it 100 times over. Plus, a lot of people are attracted to you all of a sudden, and you can pick up on their frequency and their channel of who they are. And you're like, yeah, I can sniff a rat. Sorry. And it's not that you judge them. It's that you're not in that way of being any longer. So you may even find you're not attracted to a soulmate, and you're not attracted to things for a point. And that's not due to the fact that you can't attract that. You're not owning another person's work because you've been where they've been. So again, it depends on what it is, okay? So Gemini, for you, before we get into the ruin and the reading, for you guys, the major theme in your chakra system that can be coming up in a subject matter can be relating to, let's see, okay, your psychology, your beliefs, what everyone wants you to be. Are you showing up and actually being the money bags for everyone? Do people take from you? Do you have creative ideas and they pinch it? Again, really understanding who you are. So you directly, Gemini, are going through a huge spiritual shift right now. So this is 12th house and 6th house for you personally can be your upgrade within your chakra system, but it's a purgatory effect. And it can be a tough week for you, but you're going to move through it fine. And the reason I say that is because you are in the North Node energy. So it's almost like universe is helping you move through that very quickly. The undoing energy for you in a karmic sense from a purgatory effect, let's have a look, can be you burning the candle at both ends. But also from wanting that deep connection and believing if you give, it means you're going to get, and it's got nothing to do with you. So try not to own that. If you're wanting that very deep connection, know that you're the prize and allow that to come towards you, because anything we're worth, we will directly attract. If you do feel that you have to keep hidden some of these things and some of these subjects that you're dealing with, and you can't be authentic and we need to be someone we're not, discard that, because you'll discard it naturally in your auric field. So these changes, right? Changes for Gemini in their thoughts, changes for Librans because they've had a break from Venus house and they're moving over to their co-creative energy. Pay attention to your health though, because between now and mid-year, subjects relating to that, and that can be healthy boundaries. Really having those healthy boundaries with individuals around you is part of your soul path at the moment. And for Aquarius, embodying that energy of where on your side of the fence subjects are changing. So these changes, let's talk about Uranus and Taurus. It has been retrograde for a while. This is the card of Uranus. It's goose, pearl, white, and fire. Now, in mundane, misfortune, damage, shock, sudden changes, short-term distress, followed by long-term rewards. So whatever has come up in your lives at the moment, air signs, in your twin flame path, there is a sudden energy shift, okay? So from a spiritual point of view, when you're an empath, initially you feel the only connection you do have from a psychic level is with your twin. But as you reach further into the journey, you will understand you'll be able to tap into the collective, you'll be able to tap into astrology, other people's energy, and you can go into a state of hermit mode retreat. And I mean, part of that was forced due to the astrology. What you're going to go through and what you're embodying is potentially moving away from the fair. If you're getting any of that come up, look at the masculine side of your life, but it can be playing out with the masculine. So you will energetically feel that fair-based frequency, that passion, that energy to just liberate thyself through that process. But it's also moving to the self-esteem energy. And this is a huge month of shift and transformation. Now, as I mentioned in the previous read, that failed. You guys are embodying the energy of a brand new fresh start. You're looking at things, you're trying to be very disconcerting with your judgment, right? But healthy boundaries is always with self. You can't force a healthy boundary on a person because that's a lack within. A healthy boundary is with yourself where you're saying, okay, I may see that you have work to do, but doesn't mean, and this is a crazy thing through my path, what I realized. Initially, I thought healthy boundaries was saying no, was saying yes, and you know, but it was really with transforming myself. And after that point, you can, and you won't have to be in hermit mode. You will see a person's trigger and perspective and ego, and you won't enable, but it doesn't mean that you can't actually stand next to them. It won't affect you because you won't allow it to enter your auric field to directly impact you, because you will tell yourself, okay, I see you, I love you, and that's with all people in our life. Because in the separation stage, those circumstances that you had with your twin will play out with all the people in your life, and it will be your spiritual test. You'll have the 7 stages of healing. You'll have the triggers coming through with the people around you. Once you reach that peaceful state and you're dancing with that wind with it, and you can just move with the ebbs and flows, which this week has been massive. When it does come to gearing up ready for that huge shift, it's going to get faster, not slower. So trust your intuition what those things are. So any misfortune, damage, shock, sudden changes, short-term distress, anything worth having, you know, is worth putting work into. You guys are the work, okay? So the work you're putting into yourself, and it's not the term patience. The patient energy is to do with yourself, because projection is an internalizer thing, right? So if you're looking at them going, you're taking ever so long. I actually found I was like, heck, I'm taking a long time to heal, because I really did feel quite angry at myself that my healing was taking a long time. But you will tend to swap paths where things that you've done, you can somehow live an experience where you see the other side of the fence's viewpoint. Let's see what's coming through. Okay, on the esoteric, powerful natural forces, evolution, regeneration, cosmic union. The circumstances that are playing out in the collective, you can see all over the news. Your viewpoint, had you seen that maybe 5 years ago, your viewpoint might have been different. And it does really depend on what your viewpoint is when it does come to what's going on in the collective and how you view it. And you know, it's almost like the Leo King mentioned many moons ago when I watched him. You know, do you take the red pill or the blue pill? And the thing is, sometimes when you're awoken to a state, there's no going back. And even if you wanted to, you can't put the wool over your eyes again, but you also can't enable, and you potentially, there can be victim energy, but it's still looking at it from a different point of view, that how we act, we attract, and just trusting the process, because a lot of times things won't make sense right away, but they do when you let go. Okay, as well as warning us of potential crises or catastrophe, and this is when it's in reverse, but it's not, advises us to take care when crystallizing our ideas that we do not damage the very thing that sustains us on the fundamental level of being. Now, for all of you, this can be to do with self-worth energy. It can also to do with value systems, your personal value within the connection of what you have to give, what, you know, and what we think we have to give versus what it is. Now, there is a balanced energy coming through. Okay, there's a balanced energy coming through. Now, if you're coming from ego of what you believe is balance, it's never going to come through in that fashion. But believe me, it always comes full circle, and it does always balance out, and it ends up being 20 times better than you ever thought within your ego. That's coming from YILDIZ, who's been on this path over 25 years. I'm like, this is how it has to be. This is how it has to look. Well, they should do this, and they should. And then when you disconnect because you're too tired, you realize it actually flows quicker. That our thought processes within the blockages can actually delay it. And when we work through them and we let things go and we just sit and be and focus on thyself, it's really strange. Everything starts flowing so much quicker. So if there was a really nasty situation that played out in the past and you're like, you haven't been able to get through it, or there has been, and I'll pull a clarifier on it, air signs. Let's see what's coming up. This could have been with the masculine. This could have been with the feminine, however it goes, you know, because this is collective energy. Okay, might have been a family-related dynamic. Now, it might have been conditioning and a family situation. It might have been a karmic partner, you know, and something to do with the home, okay? Feeling home, feeling welcome, unfair energies given to other people are not given to you. What is this about, please? Yes, okay. There's beliefs to do with connections at the moment coming up and what union actually means. Some of you in a pain body experience may have been having circumstances relating to everything was flowing quite well. You sort of had this feeling that things were moving and you were going in a particular way. And you might have had the carpet pulled out from under you. Now, how are you seeing it now? It might have been a sudden change. Now, it's so funny that this is coming up. Because whatever that was in a circumstances, be it you guys were going to live together, be it that you know, kind of thought that maybe it would go that way, that you were family, you were tribe, and you were going to get married. There was going to be a connection, and this can be soul union, soul contract. Whatever that was, the reason it's in the past tense position is because it's coming back full circle. Okay. And it does make sense because all of the astrology and the timeline jumping at the moment is linking from all the way from 2017 through to now. And it's like those circumstances are coming back to be revisited for reunion. There you go. Now, the reunion can be two things. And again, remember, it is a choice. You won't have to. But whatever is being released is for you to reach union with self, for you to reach that peaceful state, be able to deal healthily with your ascension symptoms, and then it attracts it in. If you find that this week and next week you are seeing connections from the past play out, be it it's in your mind, be it it's coming through from other people, trust it, pass the test, don't jump on it, okay? Due to the fact that 9 times out of 10, you want to be able to assess all the information and the masculine comes back at the same time. Now, whatever these changes are that you're feeling at the moment, regret, loss, you know, something to do with sharing, you could have, some of you could have two paths. Maybe you gave this circumstance 2 tries, okay? There were 2 major tries, but you're seeing the element of it takes 2 to tango. Consistency. Now, the funny thing is 2021 is a 5 in numerology. Now, 5s are yucky, I'll just say. I had 5s in my awakening state, and it was probably in, I think it was in 2012, I started seeing bloody 5s everywhere. And the 5s drove me crazy. I was like, oh, what's this about? Yeah, until I had to start embodying with 5s. The 5s were all about change. Now, this can be drastic change of job, very Uranus and Taurus, right? Change of jobs, changes of values, changes in accommodation, changes in, you know, it can be separations, it can be moving home, employment, changes in our friendship groups. I mean, it's change. Now, a few songs this morning came up for me, and I will share them in the community post, and they were at a stage in the journey I went through when you do understand where personal power is. And those videos I will be doing separately, but I'll share them later and I'll put a little spiel up to help you understand the viewpoint, and then you can embody how it relates to you. So these changes at the moment, you know, again, I noticed that there's 2 cups. Now, it's very similar to the scales, having to get a healthy balance in judgment. The judgment, in a sense, on your side of the fence, what you can change, you can change. Now, if you're embodying the emotions, it could be subjects to the masculine coming up. Now, if you feel in your life you're feeling fine, you can empathically be feeling these sudden anxious energies of what these changes are that this person's about to go through. So you've really got to get quite grounded. It could be taking your shoes off. It can be doing breathing exercises. You'll know when the energy is shifting. You can actually feel that person around you. It will feel like they're right near you. Again, it depends on what wave you are. I do a lot of coaching when it comes to the ones that are coming into union. I have 20 people, 20 to 30, I would say, at the moment that are in communication and movement. And don't look at that as a negative thing. Look at it as there's movement. It's good, okay? It's good there's movement. You can move through your blocks real quick as well. These changes, let's have a look what they are. So number 1, you're going to get some triggers this week. There could be something playing out. There could be some information coming in. Make sure that you spiritually address the areas in your life that you need to change, especially in a sense of circumstances, but I do feel news. Now, if your twin had been with a connection, it's quite strange how it can play out. Now, I'm going to pull one for each energy, and it is because there's a message coming through. Now, if you personally on your side of the fence have gone through separations and you've had to deal with them in a high fashion, accountable manner, it can be that that's really balanced for you at the moment and you're seeing the circumstance in a different light, right? You're gearing up ready, you're cutting those cords and you're moving forward. So some of you could already be, dealing with that, looking at that and tidying that neutralization up. Separately, there can be a circumstance if your masculine went to another connection and theoretically chose them over you. This could be really happening to them at the moment. And it usually does happen that way. So A, they can see the art of appreciation from the other side of the fence. But you'll find it doesn't resonate with them anyway, okay? The person doesn't resonate and they needed to embody that to see that circumstance. So it's not, haha, it's happened to you. It's we energetically will always go full circle to see each other's side of the fence. And sometimes they have to embody that and live it to see it through because it's part of a karmic contract, a soul contract between you and them and the whole process. So, falseness in reverse. Okay, the truth is this, this had a cycle. It had a time. But it potentially could be the emotions coming up from the masculine to see the feminine's perspective, but they're also embodying their emotions to see, did it resonate with them? What did it mean to them? Did they choose that circumstance, yet it really didn't feel that it resonated with them? Let's get a card for that, please. Yeah, there was no consistency. It was a karmic tie. Okay, the outcome for this, where it stands this week. Okay, emotions from the past are going to come up. Let's see what those things are. It's recuperation after a point, maybe going into hermit mode, but it's moving very quickly. So this is recovery energy, but it's meditation energy. So if you start getting headaches, and it's funny because I'm also getting base chakra. Yeah, initially they're embodying a feminine element of emotions, but the emotions don't have to be coming just relating to that subject matter. You tend to have the dark night of the soul energy through hermit mode. When it does come to a chain of events occurring, you tap into how it felt. And it doesn't mean to say you were terribly sad about it. It doesn't mean to say that you weren't, but it's almost like life comes full circle. And you start seeing what would the word be? The common denominator energy of what it meant to you and what you meant to those people. But what those subjects were to break that pattern. So I think this is a very good transformation this week on the masculine side. But we can also put it in a yin and yang effect if this is what you guys are currently embodying to help you move through that transformation. All week I've been seeing butterflies. I did see a moth energy, which is to do with more our occult, being up at night, having highly activated crown chakra. But the funny thing was, it wasn't flying. It was asking us to stay very grounded with our perspective because it was the moth was jumping. It wasn't flying. It was hopping like a bloody grasshopper. It was weird. Yeah. White light yourself. Use your twin line. Let's see what comes up, because the despair energy can come through, but it's more from fatigue because it's basically ticking a box on the soul path and purging it. So you may get very tired, and it can be because your counterpart is purging it. Okay, air signs. Let's see what's coming up just individually for you. Let's pull one of these as a crowning energy. Libra. There's a shift going on here, guys. So I do feel many of you are shifting direction. Many of you are going to feel this energy. Okay. Gemini. Okay. Now, whatever was bugging you, you got this card in reverse. Okay. This is to do with weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. You're like, yeah, been there, done that, bought the shirt, didn't like it. You're like, no. You know that some situations are not a you issue, they're a blockage. And, you know, you may have shown them the mirror of a circumstance, but it's their work on their side of the fence. If you're going into a mode of saving, looking at them as a victim, and it's not you can't have empathy. Empathy is very different. Again, look into what's coming up with you, Libra. If on a level you're feeling you're going to have to keep repeating a cycle, no, that's not true. If you haven't learnt that karmic cycle, yes, potentially you can. But again, you're just not wanting to dance with the devil no more. And the devil is the enemy of the blockages, okay? And it's patterns. You're breaking patterns. And you're like potentially looking at it as you've been in a situation before in the past. And yeah, you kind of felt stuck, etc. And this will be a circumstance playing out in your life as well. You know, look at patterns of how you're relating to the people around you at the moment. That's how you know you changed. If you do not enable your family, your friends, your co-workers and things like that, and you're respectful and you're owning your truth, but you're also not projecting too much ego, you're in a pretty darn good place. If you're feeling that come up with your masculine, you could be feeling some of that, but they're also learning that that doesn't work either. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make a drink. So if they've been in a karmic relationship, hi sweet, and they've been trying to make it work, it isn't about, it's really strange. It's almost like they kind of get stuck in a situation, and we've been there before too, trying to make something work that's already had its cycle. Because some of the soul contracts actually make them stay there. To see it from different perspectives, to understand that you can have all the best intentions in the world and you can be healing a lot of your inner child wounds. And with the full moon that we had at the end of the year in 2020 in Cancer, a lot of us were embodying and breaking down the old family timelines of what it meant. And it doesn't mean enabling, and it doesn't mean not having love for them, but it does mean it takes two to tango. And a lot of people at the moment are splitting. That can be group and it can be pack mentality energy coming through, moving into 2021, due to the fact that Aquarius is a humanitarian. So it can be like the hippie days and things like that, but it's pack mentality. So if the ego of the connection previously, and there was a connection for some of you, right, where twin may have had a connection, been in a karmic relationship, not all of them have. Some of them it was psychology, you know, a memory, a feeling, codependent energies with family members, work colleagues, addicted to work, addictions, because at the moment the orange chakra is activated, so we're purging those old addictive tendencies. That now they're embodying that energy too in an emotional feminine body. What do I mean by that? Their emotions are matching their actions. They're like, I'm doing that for you, but you're not giving anything to this. They're seeing the energy of what the karmic cycle was. Okay, Libra. What else do you need to know? 3 cards, and then I'll move on to Aquarius and Gemini. 3 cards for Libra. Oh, 2 jumped out right away. I don't know, man. Oh. You got 4. I won't argue with universe. Okay, if you guys are having trouble sleeping, it's because there's ascension symptoms there. If you're needing to move to, if suddenly you're feeling like you can't sleep, how do I put it? If inner child has been really activated for you, oh, well, you can take from the Aquarius one, doll, because it will relate to us collectively. Okay, so the rest and recuperation, there can be something from the past that is going to move very quickly. So if you're finding that you're very unsettled, there could be energies coming from inner child wounds, a family-related dynamic, a situation playing out on that side of the fence. In your own life, you may have all these creative ideas coming through, but may not have the energy to deal with it. So it's kind of this push-pull energy. It can be amplifying at the moment where you do have the heavy ascension symptoms, but there can be circumstances on your side of the fence that suddenly you're cleaning, you're tidying, and you're doing the Cinderella effect. It's because you're preparing for the new energy to come in. You do have self-worth energy that is coming through. And I do think, like the laws of attraction, you're attracting this back into your life. But it's really weird. Look at how she's looking over her shoulder. Now, on my side of the fence, she's not looking to the future. She's looking to the past. And she's like, oh, heck, you're back? Oh, yeah, right. Hi. But it's very, it's not egoic. It's just because you had detachment, that's when it comes in. But there's something coming in like a bat out of hell. That's what I keep hearing. And you're very focused on, and it's something kicking ahead because I'm saying the shell. I feel you'll be doing something. And I mean, I was doing some channel messages to tap into the collective and, you know, just tuning back in again. And as I was doing that, the first one I did was Libra. And the funny thing is, I was seeing you sitting at a desk doing something. It might have been paperwork. You were otherwise preoccupied. And that's sort of what she's doing there, right? And you get some information coming in. It's two pieces of information. It's happening one after the other. When you have this shocking energy coming, it's sort of like you've got to stop and you've got to move away and do something. I do feel after that there's going to be a subject relating to twins. So that's a time stamp for you, right? Consult an expert. Okay, don't look outside yourself. And especially when it comes to, okay, I'm getting a separate message to this. Consulting an expert. It's asking you at the moment too, if you have a feeling about something, number one, the channel message that was coming through for Libra was, this circumstance that comes to you in information isn't your problem. You can help if you want to, and you know how to fix the circumstance, but it's not going to be a you problem, it's a them problem. And that doesn't have to be the masculine, because the energy that's coming in could be from a separate party, but the timeline stamp is around that time where a shift is happening on your side. And I do feel family-related dynamics on both sides are coming through for the yin and yang of those of you connected to a Libra. So the masculine will be having that on their side. You will be having it on your side in a shift. You're going to have no time to play because it's going to be busy. Okay? It's not about, I don't feel you're going to allow any playtime when it comes to your heart. You could be coming through very serious and very, nobody's going to make me make a decision right away. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to look at the painting and assess it, and I'm going to move forward from there. But there is going to be a point where it's going to come in very quickly and you're going to be like, oh, because you didn't expect it, it does come. What else are they showing me? Trust the process, but however this is going to play out, what you're wanting is a fresh start, and unless it resembles that, you'll keep open. I don't see you discounting it, but I do see you taking your time. It's like you're wanting to do it very traditional. It's like, I'm going to take my time. First step is a date. Slow it down, okay? That's sort of what's coming through. Okay, those of you that are Aquarius, there's the heavy burden of your hopes and dreams and aspirations, and they're all coming, but it's going to be go, go, go. Also, in a subject matter, and this is what I've got coming through for you guys, be very careful because you can be very fertile at the moment. Number two is if your twin has children, there could be a subject relating to that coming up. And there could be a lot of children around you at the moment. And just as I pulled it, there's a little kid on the card. A child. So you might be looking at the circumstances and going, that's a lot of responsibility. Am I up for that? And it can be because you got Capricorn on the 12th. Whose job is what? You know, make sure you focus on your side of the fence. It's time to look at other possibilities. It's a good time to make changes. So you guys could be going, oh, it's never going to be. And that's where you're supposed to be, okay? I'll just say, it's where you're supposed to be. In your heart, you're focusing on your magician energy. But miracles are coming in. What you believe is a miracle and what actually is a miracle, it's like it comes through in detachment. So you're just really focused on your magician energy, but not manifesting from a place of lack, just putting your energy into your manifestations of, okay, I want a Lamborghini. Okay, what steps am I taking? But you're embodying it like you're worth it, and you're attracting it like the laws of attraction. Thanks, Star. But your heart, again, your heart's desires are right there. It's almost because you shifted it over there. But again, when it does come to responsibilities, just be super careful because you've got Capricorn on the 12th. You may have a habit where you help everyone and, you know, you're foundation helpful person. You're an Aquarian, you're the humanitarian, okay? But don't bite off more than you can chew because what their job is theirs. And it depends on if you're moving through the embodiment of the higher octane Aquarian or the lower. And the lower is more, let me convince you, you know, like a lawyer energy, that you're incorrect and you're going to hurt yourself and I need to protect you. And Jupiter's shaking you up. So at times you can feel both, okay? You can feel like, yeah, I want to help you, we can do this. And then you're thinking when it's in your own life, you know, everything tumbles down. Yet all that successful energy you put into it when you're in the connection, it's like, oh, crap, you know, everything's moving great. Then in the separation, it's like things spiral out of control. You're moving out of that. You're seeing the yin and yang. You're embodying the masculine and feminine now. You're a helpful person, but you're not going to be taken advantage of. Well, look, I love you, but you've got to do the work. Gemini. Let's see Geminis. Gemini. Celebration. What are you celebrating? I'm getting a cheeky energy coming through. Mother healing. Okay, I think some of you could have some success this week. If you've worked really hard, I'm also feeling this very facetious energy. Now, this could be some gossip that comes through to you, and I see you giggling about something. I don't know what it is, but it's almost like, haha. I don't know why I'm getting that, you know. But there could be some information relating to an external situation. Could even be relating to twin. And you could even be just embodying some of the playful energy that you shared with them. And it's actually quite a good sign. You know, if you're going back to not just the low vibration memories, but the happy ones, and they just happen to pop up in your mind. One of those things could be relating to the fact that masculine is thinking about those happy times, and that's a very positive thing. But there's a lot to be happy about coming through for you moving forward. Set your sights higher, okay? Level up. You know you're worth it. Put yourself on the throne. Reach for the stars. Contemplation time. Yeah, you just get out of the ego, get out of your way, and keep applying your energy. This is where you will get your union and your celebration from. You've got to get into that happy vibration. Morning affirmation. You're going to be burning that midnight oil, if anything. I feel you to be very social. A lot of people can be coming towards you this way, but I do feel some sense of creative endeavors are coming through. Now, if you're very successful within your own life, there was something else that they were showing me. I do feel there potentially could be a karmic situation that plays out that you hear about. But again, it's not happening to you. Your things are happening regularly, you know, but you're dealing with them as they come in. I see you sweeping up, tidying up, paperwork. I don't know why I keep saying paperwork. But I'm also seeing you may feel calm as a bee. And that's really what's coming over on the other side of the fence. I'm also seeing as soon as you're shifting your energy, it's almost like you may start getting text messages and communication where they're asking you, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me? And that's sort of like coming at left field for a portion of you. One last card. Because, okay, yeah, there's a bit of hot and heavy passion coming through for the collective of air signs. If you're getting sacral chakra activation, I would say you can have movement energy. And I'll pull a chakra card for you guys because the fire energy is very much, look, we have Mars in Taurus at the moment. So these changes are coming in very quickly. If you're getting intuition, you must follow your intuition with these situations. What I'm seeing of how the masculine is feeling. Yeah, base chakra. Right, yeah, foundation. Well, Saturn's there. Pluto's there. Capricorn's there. Throat chakra's coming up. So even if it's quiet, feel the 5D. You're going to feel the energy coming in. Masculines, how are they feeling about each one? And then one for the collective, and we'll sign off. If you want a booking, you can go to the link below. Masculines for Aquarius and for Gemini. Okay. If you have any energy of worthiness coming up, at the moment they don't feel worth it. Okay, so if you guys are going into a little bit of despair here and there during the week, in path-wise, I feel you'll be tuning into it. The reason why a lot of these circumstances happened is due to self-worth. All right? They're learning this. They're also learning that people did not accept them for who they were. People were expecting them to be something that they weren't. And there was a lot of expectations. Now, this is being transformed through. And I do feel heart activation, and especially moving to the Leo moon, which I'll do an update then. The Leo moon is having a little bit of heart chakra activation. So, you know, with that, it's almost higher heart chakra healing, but it's also passion. It is going to come full circle. But at the moment, it can be very much, you know, they're embodying that energy and they're looking at, hey, after everything that's happened, Libra, I really don't feel worthy of you. You know, but again, it's the past. So it's a process they're going to move through. They can't change the past. They can change the future with their actions. Yeah, so they feel at the moment how they are, that the ball is in your court, which is true. But while they're actually looking at that, they realise that they gave their power away. And in those circumstances, you in the connection of those of you that are Libra in the twin flame connection have shown masculine what their worth is and that they do have power. So if you're not communicating with them, this is forcing them to learn that karmic lesson and they're actually embodying it. So that's very healthy. So, Aquarius. I think you got that. They're wanting to have fun. They're like, okay, if I want to be with this high vibration Aquarius, it's almost like I said, they're coming in like a bat out of hell. They want to have fun. If you're putting things on social media and it's all playful and fun, it's like they want to be part of that experience. Whatever you're doing, they want to be part of that experience. And they're wanting to know that they may be coming in for advice, and this could be a joint venture the both of you may be working towards, but it also can be subjects to do with reunion, subjects to do with how that they could be looking at how to bring all of this together. If there's two separate families sort of thing, they're looking at that. But it is moving, and they are moving into magician energy. Okay, gems. If you've been asking your guides to assist you and you've just detached, if you've been, maybe if they have a parent figure, for instance, or you have a parent figure and you felt those energies around you, it can be tribe and people that are passed over. If you feel you've given it to universe and you have been, sometimes we can go into a pleading state and we can be in the 5D even talking to our higher self. In detachment, this situation will move. So it's almost like if something is really blocking you in your path, let's look at my head, it's almost like Rose. Detach and give it to universe. Don't look at the castle like it's miles away. If there's a circumstance that is not on your side, and it's very close, this is what I'm saying. Your dreams are coming true. Don't quit right before the miracle occurs. Now, I will say, I say this very cautiously, detachment is the key. If you feel triggered by the statement, you're not having trust in it, you're giving your power away because you're embodying the past. You haven't cleared through the wound, and you feel in order to have success, you need to control, and that's not so. We never do, because it always comes back full circle. Anything that's meant for us, and you don't want to fight for something that's not meant for you. You don't want to, that's a stage of the healing, but naturally it's coming back to you. But if that you do find there's circumstances that are coming up for you at the moment, Jen, The highest suggestion I would give you is to look at it of what you think is blocked, and that can be on your own side of the fence, in your everyday life, because the patterns can relate to the twin flame path as well. Don't think for a second that the circumstances that are playing out in your given life right now aren't healing the twin flame connection. They are, because they are directly interlinked. Any quick questions in the house? I'll just tidy this up a bit and I'll pull 3 cards for the masculine collective for the air signs. And then we'll close off. I'm going to go have brekkie. I'll upgrade and I will come back. Thank you for joining me. Smudge the cards. When I can find them, there they are. Yeah, I would say, look, this week, do expect changes and it's going to move. In your own life, you must pay attention to the things that you have to achieve. If you're finding, Libra, that there's changes happening to your co-creative energy, to your family environment, you know, situations relating to children, you know, it's get all your paperwork relating to those areas in check. There can be a lot of expenses coming up at the moment, sudden expenses. Also, when it does come to responsibilities, tying up loose ends, the Cinderella effect, you're going to have that happen. With your relationships, your contracts, you're wanting something very deep and meaningful, but you're looking at your life and you're wanting to have, what would I call it? That direct foundation that is stable for the test of time, and Pluto's really asking us to do that. Okay, masculines. Okay, they're a bit confused at the moment. They're confused. They're like in the 3D. They don't know what to do, but they also know that it's a 3D task that they have to do to actually shift this energy up. So 5D wise, they're not giving their power away. They've had the downloads and now they're looking at it and going, okay, with that, what will I need to do to transform my life? What if what is and isn't working will I need to do to shake that up? Because they're finding this whole, what they might not understand is they are having ascension symptoms. So issues from the past coming back, chronic fatigue, you know, blockages in ego, purging it. It's a good stage so far. Yeah, again, same thing, recouping and moving forward. So this week, I would say, I'm not saying you're not getting communication. I do feel many of you, they'll move through this within 24 hours. This is what I'm feeling. And this, you'll find your ego and your own experience of how you transform through wounds. Trust me, the masculines move through it quicker once they're awake. So you can think you've got 20 years. No, you don't. You're not that lucky. No, you got less time than that. There's a shift happening. Okay, and the outcome for this week. Okay, so automatically speaking, I do feel what they're embodying is a very yucky situation, needing to gain justice. There may have been an affair and a karmic connection, and karma relating to that. There also could be a circumstance that has blocked them at a financial level, and or even, you know, trying to protect you. Also, there could be children relating to the circumstance. A separation relating to that, potentially, with them unable to see it, but the transformation's happening nevertheless. It's not stopping them from moving forward. Yeah, they kind of knew how this was going to go. So I'm seeing for some of them, they can be dealing with documentation, and trust me, you guys all have different twins. Some, there could be affairs, and it's more to do with the other side of the fence. There's karma relating to that. Others, it can be blockages and control-related dynamics, but they're being projected to the masculine to liberate them. Other pockets of them are dealing with divorces and legalities. And there can be some that are dealing with children and circumstances. But the outcome is they know what these things are going to be. They're fatigued because they're so over, you know, the non-give and take that they've embodied that inside their circumstances. But I do feel them getting to a point. That's the catalyst to this transformation. Anywho, love and light. I will check in with you guys later. I'm going to go have my brekkie and I'll come back and I'll do water signs. Those of you that are water signs, come join me. I'll try and get all of these done today. And I'll see you on the other side. you, Kegel.